And now we move on to our next speaker, who's Dermot Green from Queen's University, Belfast. And he's going to be talking to us about Lightboard for connected learning in applied mathematics and theoretical physics. So Dermot, if you're ready.
Hello, hopefully you can hear me and see my screen.
Hear you.
Very good. And you can see the slides okay?
It's coming, I think. Yeah.
Can we see the slides?
Yep, we can see that.
Good. Okay, thank you. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk today. So this is St. Patrick's Day. This is just a little bit of Ireland brought to you all. This was one of my lockdown walks last summer, pushing my 2 kids around an abandoned golf course. Okay, looks beautiful, gets tedious if you do it every day, trying to get 2 screaming kids asleep. So on these walks, I was thinking about how best to do my online teaching. So I'm a theoretical physicist in Belfast, and I teach mathematics students as well as theoretical physics students. Okay, so I titled this applied mathematics, but you can stroke out the applied mathematics. This applies to pure mathematics also. So as we all know, moving to online mathematics courses is challenging. And I did a bit of research last summer, and I saw that there are quite detailed reviews, some recent ones. These are international reviews, and they find that online mathematics generally doesn't work well. Okay, this was pre-COVID, and particularly they were pointing out high attrition rates. So maybe these are these massive open online courses and low satisfaction levels. So these were sort of some worries that I had about moving to online teaching, and just taking up Jeffrey's talk, the ways to keep students connected, whatever connected means, but we all have some intuition for what it means. So there's an old book by Henderson called University Teaching that I found in the library. It's a nice book, and it describes the importance of human relationships in university teaching. And there's a nice quote: "The twin processes of teaching and learning represent a common exercise in human relationships. The social awareness and capacity of the lecturer to make an effective emotional contact with students are significant." And this was one of the things I was worried about, because I thought one of the strengths in my teaching was my ability to make a good rapport with the students. And doing this when all communication is mediated via computer is considerably challenging, as we know. Okay, so I guess most people around the world, most mathematicians, adapted to a strategy where we used kind of voice over PowerPoint, or maybe we used an iPad with a pencil. But here the lecturer's face is either removed from the presentation, or at best it's relegated to the corner of a screen, okay, just like I'm talking now, detached from the material being presented. And I think that overall this, for mathematics courses, risks an impersonal, unengaging student experience. Okay, so your lecture may be really inspirational, but overall, the students taking 6 modules all year looking at PowerPoint presentations with a voiceover will just become unengaging. Okay, and moreover, it misses the requirements of effective instructional video. Okay, so there are a number of papers, I've listed one here, that have reviewed evidence-based principles for how to design good instructional video. And this one in particular found that students learn better from video lectures that show the instructor drawing live, okay, which does happen if you're using an iPad with a pencil, but also when the on-screen instructor shifts gaze between the audience and the board. So this is the so-called gaze guidance principle. And this is effectively that the students should be able to see you doing the work, doing the drawing. Okay, so I was thinking about ways to achieve this. And in September last year, our university had a call for connected learning innovation funds. And I was awarded £2,000 to build a prototype Lightboard. So a Lightboard is a sheet. So I've got 2 pictures of Lightboards in front of you there. It's a sheet of perspex that has LED lights that shine into the perspex. and the light is trapped by total internal reflection. But if you write with a neon pen, then the light can escape from the perspex, and you get this kind of glowing effect. Okay, so I'll demonstrate this. So I built my own Lightboard at home. That's the image on the left. And we also built one on campus. That's the image on the right. So you can buy these things pre-prepared for $5,000 to $10,000. Mine cost £300, and I built it single-handedly. Okay, so you're actually looking at my Lightboard now. So I can come into the screen, say hello. Okay, and this is the beauty. So I do all my lecturing at my Lightboard, and the students can see what I'm writing, and they can see what I'm putting emphasis on. So I'm talking about this equation while writing another, and I'm saying y means something to see. So they can see the emphasis. They can see me, so I'm brought into their home. Okay, it's much more like a live lecture to them. And it's much more natural for me as well, because I'm standing at a board, and this is how I normally teach. So I don't want to dwell on a demo, because I can put a link to one of my YouTube videos, but I want to show you what the students think. So I ran an anonymous questionnaire. I should rub this out, bear with me. Yeah, so I taught Tensor Field Theory, so it's special and general relativity, to around 20 students. And typically I had 1 hour of pre-recorded lectures a week that were recorded on the Lightboard. But I also used this Lightboard live, just like I was demonstrating there, making use of the breakout rooms that Jeffrey mentioned too. Okay, so I'd put up a quiz, send the students to a breakout room, and then bring them back. And the results were very encouraging. So this is the results of a live survey, of an anonymous survey that I did with my students. So I've shown 7 questions here. So basically blue means very good, and red or orange means Lightboard not so good. So I asked questions like, are you more engaged with the Lightboard videos than a PowerPoint presentation? Okay, so nearly 100% of the students said the Lightboard is much more engaging. Question 4, are the Lightboard videos more or less engaging than an iPad? So that's someone drawing with a pen. And this is nearly 100% of the students say the Lightboard is much more engaging, even in live sessions also. Okay, how effective is the Lightboard compared to PowerPoint, iPad at the following? Gaining familiarity with the lecture, being able to see the lecture draw live, being able to see the lecturer's gaze, and for use in promoting engagement with quizzes. And nearly in all cases, it's 100% say the Lightboard is much better. Okay, so question 6. Compared with, this is an interesting one, compared with other online delivery you've experienced, has the Lightboard made this module less or more enjoyable? Okay, and nearly 100% of people say Lightboard is much more enjoyable. But this is the really interesting question. Compared with face-to-face lectures, how does the Lightboard experience compare? And you see that some students say the Lightboard is much more enjoyable than face-to-face lectures. Okay, and only 1 or 2 say it's a little less enjoyable. Okay, this is maybe not a fair test. The students haven't had face-to-face lectures with me, so this is a bit of a bad question, but it's still an interesting response. Do you think that the Lightboard could or should be retained in normal face-to-face times? 8 people said yes, 5 people said maybe, 1 people said other, which they gave a comment, which I'm not showing. Would you enjoy short modules delivered solely by Lightboard with some interaction time, maybe 1 hour per week with a lecture? 5 people said yes, 7 people said maybe. Okay, because maybe they want to know if there's going to be an exam connected to it. And this is the important question. Do you feel more connected to the lecture and other students in this module than in other modules? And out of the 14 respondents, 12 said yes, and 2 said the same. Okay, and this was one of the motivations for the Lightboard in the first place, to get the students more connected with me, so they have a stronger familiarity with the lecture. I don't know what my time is like.
You've kind of run out of it, so if you could just wrap
Okay.
up, that would be marvelous.
Yeah, I can wrap up. So this is the last slide. So this is just some free form comments from the students. So generally, this was a great success. So the pre-recorded videos are great. Lightboard is a 10 out of 10. The use of a Lightboard provides a much better experience than other modules in terms of getting as close as possible to face-to-face teaching. Okay, makes it much more like an in-person lecture, etc., etc. Okay, so I've had a good experience. The students have appreciated it, and I recommend that you check whether Lightboard facilities could be available at your institutions. Say our physics technician built one for a few £100. I recommend to use them. I will keep using it even when we go back to face-to-face. I think it's good for the flipped classrooms. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Great, thanks ever so much, Dermot. And maybe if you could put a link to your YouTube video into the chat, that would be really helpful for everybody,
Yes,
I think,
will
as
do.
well. So
Here it
that would
is
be
here.
great.
So
Thank you.
I'll copy that. Thank you.